Nihar means morning dew. Nahar means light of day. And I started a piece where it focused around Nihar. And I tried working with that. And that eventually became a song that whenever a number of different vocalists heard it, when they wanted to hear what else I was putting on the Yoga Trap, everybody wanted to be on that song. There's certain people I came up with that I don't tell how I really feel. I don't know what it is. Is it pride? Is it I think I'm sappy? Is it I don't know, for whatever reason. And I've never really been good expressing directly to somebody how I really feel about them. What I have been good at is writing music. So, every epic love song comes from epic love. And every tragic heartbreak, oh my God, I'm gonna die song comes from, well, you can guess. How else do you tell somebody like what they mean to you? I don't know, some people can cook really well, some people can, they can do so many things. I can write a song. And as the old joke goes, wrote a song about it. Wanna hear it? Here you go. Nahar is a very triumphant song. It's, in a joking way, but not really joking. It's like music to crown a king to almost, or a queen. But it's really regal. It's really a process of ascending royalty. That's the feeling that I was going for. And so in order for that to happen, oh, look, I didn't bring these up. I wanted to explain these and I didn't bring them up. These are the stems that I start with. I started with a really strong string passage, and that movement defined the rest of the song for me. The strings are almost like an Ouroboros. It's a continuous cycle, and it just cycles back and forth and back and forth. And I have them waxing and waning, going from speaker to speaker, so that it gives you this feeling of undulation that creates a motion. It almost makes you feel like you're floating. And when you think about the coronation of royalty, you should be giving the people, if you're a fair and just ruler, you should be giving the people this narcotic feeling from on high. I don't know if that's happened in recent time. I mean, we have very few kingdoms left, but one would think that during ancient times, when there was no other way of referencing all of this stuff, you'd get pretty floaty. Pretty wavy, as you say these days. After the waviness, I felt like I needed to give it a really strong anchor point. So I went back and I immediately just wrote a very strong bass line to it. And I just took it into the subharmonic frequencies because the strings were doing so much work in the highs. And that's what this sounded like. And so what I did was I ran high pass filter here. So then there's an inkling of the music, like the strings, but I really wanted this feeling of being underwater. And so that was achieved by taking all the highs out and then letting the low just ride here. So while I let the low ride, I wanted to bring in, all right, so in my mind, I'm thinking about this great friend of mine who is really regal and really like Slick Rick the Ruler, as one would have it. But, this is really some regal stuff. So like, I call this the ghosts, but I'm talking about the ghosts of our past, our present, and our future, sort of like A Christmas Tale. But I'm really thinking about what would the spirits that are intertwined with our vibes right now be saying about us? What are they going to say about us when we're dead and gone? I want those ghosts to come out and have a moment and speak, and that's what this stem is. Can you hear that? Can you hear that? It's like, yo, it's spooky. It's really spooky. And that's what I would imagine like a sprite, like the soul of a sprite to sound like. Sprites are like those little fairies that are in the middle of the forest. I guess like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, like all that stuff. Like you got these fairy sprites. And I would imagine that the sprites of our recollections would sound like this. So that's laying down the groundwork like a bed for whatever might come next. And I originally didn't think that there were going to be lyrics on this. So when you mix that with the strings and bring in the bass line, this is the effect altogether. I'm getting chills right now. I'm getting chills just, oh. All right. That came fairly quickly. Like those were all just vibes because I really, really wanted to tell this story through instrumental. This was going to be a birthday present. It was going to be a marriage present. I don't know what it was going to be, but it was going to be like, yo, homie, yo, this is some regal stuff here. And so then back in the day, I used to make beats out of telephone notes. Like, the phone used to have these dial tone beeps to them. And I made so many beats out of those dial tone beeps because there'd be a little melody to it. So I found this little plugin that made little telephone-like melodies, and I called it Telephone here, Telephone Ping. And so this is what that sounded like, and I just threw a dub delay over top of it. So what I'm doing right there is like the ghosts are using the telephone to send you a message. That was what I was trying to create right there. That is the effect of what I am composing. Spooky, but when you put that together with the rest and get the full effect, it hits you like a ton of bricks. It's like, homie, I'm sending you a message here. I'm sending you a clear message. It's through the music. It'll last throughout the generations. It's going to be here forever for everyone to hear, right? So that's Nahar is daylight. Nihar is the first morning dew. We're just working from there. And I just needed a delivery mechanism, right? Now I need the sugar pill. So that gets really deep. Now I need the sugar pill to take me into a place of melodic float. And so for that, nothing better than the Indian flute. Right? So now I'll put that all together. And that's pretty much going to be all the musical elements, melodic elements. And so when you assemble all of it, let's start from the telephone and go all the way to the flute. All right, that's a great bed. Now, where do I take it? You know, my question is, do I take it from dance hall? Do I take it, where do I take this all? I started with the hi-hat, and I just kind of played with the hi-hat first. So I created a little crescendo pattern right there. All right. After that, sometimes I start with the kick, sometimes I start with the hi-hat. This one I started with the hi-hat, then I added the kick. And sometimes what I'll do is, so I knew that this was going to go on the same album as Bom Bom. So that's the same kick as Bom Bom. If you go back into like the making of Bom Bom, that's the same kick. And what I'll do for continuity during an album project, when I know that these songs are going to link together somehow, is I'll reuse the sounds and the assets in creative ways so that psychologically when you're listening through to the whole piece, there's similarities in some of the compositions and some of the sonic tapestries. However, this is decidedly filtered completely different than the Bom Bom kick. So then I added a clap. And the clap I went for is this. Just average, everyday, regular clap. Nothing special whatsoever. And then I added this, kicks. Yeah. And you could hear someone rhyming over that, right? So now in my head, I'm thinking someone might rhyme. And then you add in the hi-hats. That sounds dope, right? So that sounded modern to me, but it wasn't trap yet. And the thing I love about trap is the interplay of the snare, right? So here we go. I brought that snare in like this. All right, so then I wanted to link this to one of my favorite songs from back in the day, and it's called Scenario by a Tribe Called Quest. And on every one, maybe it's two, but it was like so I just wanted a ride to crash in like that. I just wanted something, not a full crash like in Scenario, like every second hit there was like this crash sound, and it was like really epic. And I'm like, this is gonna be for like royalty. It's got to be epic. So that's when I put in this sound, which was reminiscent of Scenario, and it was inspired by that. Hear that? Now, obviously, I'm making a more laid-back kind of vibe here. So those are all the drums. When you bring it all together, it gives you this crazy effect of the entire coronation ceremony happening. And it's a coronation happening at dawn. So for that, it's just this emotional tapestry. So when you put it all together, it created this landscape to live in that's sonic. Like, there's the telephones, and then you got the ghosts. Oh my gosh, it's just like, and then the subdued strings. Listen to that. And so it's like a completely different universe as soon as the drums come in. So then you got this. That is gorgeosity. There's no other word for it. It is like generational gorgeosity happening right there. So what I did next, and I'm just going to throw these in here. I didn't throw these in here initially because I didn't want to put any of the vocals in. But let's get these guys in here. And as you can tell, I color code everything. I'm a little OCD. So on these, I'm just going to color code these really quickly so my OCD doesn't go crazy. So there's a singer, an auntie singing Nahar. And I was going to get Tanjina Islam to sing Nihar, but it didn't work out in time. So Nahar it is, but it was inspired by Nihar. And so and I had to auto-tune the heck out of her, but here's what it came out as. So I think that finished the song. After this was added as part of the sonic tapestry, I didn't think it needed to go anywhere else with any vocal, because the rise and the fall and the crescendo and the tension and release happened all there, and it just means daylight. And I saw it as morning dew becoming daylight, like in terms of different definitions and boundaries. So I think Nihar, the original name, is beautiful in and of itself, but then Nahar is the full blast daylight, and I wanted the song to represent the daylight. Like Nihar is like the prince, and Nahar is like the king and the queen coming together. Right? And so then when you go in, you hear the full chorus. Oh, no, I just want to start that over again. That was too good. That was too good. All right. Here we go. Just imagine the coronation. Yeah, I probably bastardized a lot of that performance, but mangled it with auto-tune and effects. But I mean, the end result is exactly what I was going for. It's otherworldly, and that's what I wanted. I wanted to dedicate a piece of music in my career that I think is going to do really well across the board to somebody who did a lot for me and still does a lot for me and like means a lot to me. And when you live this life of music, this kind of a gift it's priceless. And it's only later in life that things click and you might want to do something like this. It definitely doesn't happen early, because early on in your music career, you're probably trying to do everything you possibly can to die. I wanted to do something reflective. And when I started thinking about Yoga Trap, I started thinking about who are the people that I really love. Sobriety grew out of this song about Nahar. It's a reflection of things that happen when you manifest something for someone else and it comes back and doubles back and it gifts you. And that's really a deep moment of contemplation. All I could do is say thank you, because I don't know where all this came from. Sometimes it's just mysterious that way. And if you're doing your job, you let it get channeled and you bring it into the world. And now, it goes wherever it goes. Yo, Nahar, this one's for you. Thanks for watching. If you could do me a big favor, click like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. If you're really into the process of production, sign up for Producing Creative using the link below in the description. See y'all next video. Peace.